Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And you guys can hear my voice is still a little hoarse, but it is getting so much better. But either way, before I start this Week 17 Power Rankings, I want to wish you guys a happy holidays. Enjoy the time with your family. Do not take the holidays for granted. Celebrate the ones that you lost throughout the point of your life. And just have quality time these holidays. But we're going after a crazy Week 16. So there's going to be some changes in this week's Power Rankings. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Alright guys, these are my power rankings from last week, and I'm telling you guys, things will change this week. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to start off with the Thursday night game, the Broncos versus the Chargers. I had the Chargers at B, coming off a win. I'm going to keep them there. The Broncos, I'm still a believer in what this team can do. I'm keeping both teams at B. Broncos still have the playoff hopes alive. Chargers almost clinched themselves a spot, and this was a very competitive game. The Chargers, it was basically a tale of two halves. Broncos had the first half. Chargers came in and took over the second half. But I still like what Bo Nix is doing. Justin Herbert has done a lot with, I want to say, not the greatest of weapons. And both defenses are very solid leading up into this game. Broncos, one of the top 10 defenses. Chargers right up there too. So I like what both teams are doing. I'm leaving them at B. Then we're going to the Saturday games. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Houston Texans. I'm keeping the Chiefs at S, even though I still believe this team has some deficiencies, especially offensively, as far as the big play goes. Then we're talking about the Houston Texans. I had them at B, and I'm going to keep them at B. The injury to Tank Dell sucks. CJ Stroud has not played the best of football, even though I'll shout out to my Buckeye guy. But he has not played the best of football. That defense did not get after Patrick Mahomes. Shout out to Andy Reid for moving Joe Thuney to left tackle, which has proven to be a very smart move on his end and adjusting that offensive line, which has not been good all season. And we know the Chiefs' defense, they have been sporadic the last couple of weeks, but they did a really solid job against the Houston Texans. So I'm going to leave the Chiefs at S, Texans at B. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. I'm keeping the Ravens at S, and I'm leaving the Steelers at A. I'm keeping the Ravens at S because their defense has been playing a whole lot better. Offensively, we know what Lamar and Derrick Henry can do. Once those two will get involved, and once they really just run the ball and stop trying to be cute with it, we know this team can be dominant and effective offensively. Steelers, they are missing George Pickens. That offense has not looked the same since George Pickens has missed these last 3 games. That offense has not looked the same. You don't have that big playability. You don't have that go-to wide receiver. And we're starting to see Russell Wilson is not playing the same way that he has been. Even though that defense is being a lot asked to the Steelers' defense, but I'm still a believer in their defense. Offensively, they have to have George Pickens back. He makes a big difference on this football team. Next is the Falcons versus the Giants. I really like what Michael Penix Jr. did in his rookie debut. He turned the ball over, but he made some really critical throws, made some throws to the outside. Defensively, they played a very dominant game, and, well, the Giants are just the damn Giants suck. Let's just put it as it is. They suck. Next is the Cardinals versus the Panthers. I'm keeping the Panthers at C, and not just because of their record. I love how they fight, and I love how they play. And Bryce Young has been getting better and better since he has came into the lineup after being benched. That defense is playing better. And then we're going to Arizona Cardinals. I have them at B. I'm going to keep them there, but I've always said this Arizona Cardinals team's worries me sometimes with their inconsistent play, especially offensively. Defensively, they did play better, but I'm just not a fan. I've always told you guys, I am not completely sold on Kyler Murray. I'm not. So, there that'll be. Next is the Detroit Lions. I still think, despite the defensive injuries, one of the best teams in football, dominated my Chicago Bears, and I don't even want to talk about them sorry-ass Bears anymore. They suck. They get on my damn nerves. And then on top of that, we get to watch them on primetime Thursday. I don't want to. Lord, this is painful as a Bears fan. Very painful. I don't want to watch this team anymore. They're that bad. All right, I don't even want to talk about the Bears anymore. But the Lions, offensively, dominant. Defensively, they have some moments, but we know that's a lot to do with the injuries. But this team is, the offense doesn't score a ton. The defense, not built to play from behind. So, that is one fatal flaw in the Lions. Next, we have the Colts versus the Titans. I'm keeping the Colts a C, and Titans at a D. Titans still not a very good team. Colts have been playing a lot better. I love what Anthony Richardson is starting to become since he got benched. That defense has been a lot better. And when we're talking about this Titans team, yeah, they have Jeffrey Simmons and Sweat up front, but they have a lot of work to do to make this roster better. And we've seen Will Levis as the quarterback. They had Mason Rudolph in last week. That didn't make that much of a difference. So, Titans are the Titans. Colts, I do like what they're doing. And Jonathan Taylor exploded for probably his best day of the 2024 season. Next is the Rams and the Jets. I had the Rams at A because they are hot. They're playing some really good football on both sides of the ball. Stafford playing well. That defense has been playing some really good football. Then the Jets are just trash. Aaron Rodgers is not it. And it's funny that this team had more wins last year with Zach Wilson than what they have now. Kind of similar to the Bears. Roster, not a team. Big difference. The Rams, they are scary. Scary football team. They're getting healthy at the right time. Scary football team to face down the stretch.
Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. For me, it is very important to have a VPN to protect my online privacy. It'd be very, very creepy if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing that you did online. So why let your internet provider really do that to you online? The best thing to do is to get yourself a VPN, and why not go with the ExpressVPN, the best VPN available. Personally, I like it for the fact that you can unlock Netflix shows that you do not get in the US market. Now, one show that I've started to get myself into is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You search Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the US, doesn't come up, but you can switch your location to Canada, and you can research Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and bam, it pops up right then and there, and you can catch up on your episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, if you click the link in the description below, you will get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. Just by clicking the link below and you sign up today, you will get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link down below, and you will get ExpressVPN. Now, let's just get back to the video.
Next is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. I'm keeping the Eagles at S, and I'm moving the Washington Commanders up to an A. They've won 3 straight games. Jaden Daniels, despite the turnovers, 5 touchdown passes against the Eagles defense that has been playing phenomenal throughout their winning streak that they snapped. The Eagles, I think, if Devontae Smith catches that pass, we're having a very different narrative about the Eagles. Kenny Pickett didn't cut. He came in and played some solid football. He wasn't the same as Jalen Hurts, but before Hurts got hurt, his legs were effective. So, I still believe in this Eagles team. I still believe they're a very good football team. And I think if Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt, and if that happens, if Devontae Smith catches that ball, we're having a very different discussion about the Eagles right now. So, I won't panic on the Eagles, but the Commanders, they are moving up for me. Next is the Cleveland Browns versus Cincinnati Bengals. Picking the Browns at a D. Something about me wants to move this Bengals team up. I really kind of do, but that defense is just too damn bad to move them up. I love what Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins have done offensively in the passing game. two fatal flaws. They don't have much of a running game, and that defense is ass. If that defense was any bit better, we'll be talking about the Bengals taking them in a hunt for the AFC North crown. That's how bad that defense is. And that's how good offensively Joe Burrow, who should be in MVP discussions, has been playing. I think if he makes this team a playoff team, we could be talking about Joe Burrow as an MVP candidate. I still believe that now, to be honest. But the Browns, they have nothing at the quarterback position. If they had something, they might have been able to pull out this game. But this Browns team is just a headache. Next, we're going to have the Minnesota Vikings versus Seattle Seahawks. Keeping the Vikings at S. I really believe that Sam Darnold playing better. They haven't run the football with Aaron Jones. Justin Jefferson took off. Defensively, they were creating turnovers. They were making things a little bit harder for Geno Smith. And then speaking of the Seahawks, I'm keeping them at B. They played a very good football game, to be honest. Defensively, they have some lapses. Offensively, it's just turnovers by Geno Smith has been costly for them. And if it wasn't for the turnovers, we could have saw the Seahawks possibly win this game. So I do like what I'm seeing from Seattle, but the Vikings still at the S tier for me, and the Seahawks at B. Next is the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. Keeping the Bills at S. Josh Allen didn't have his greatest of games. We know he's dealing with an injury, but James Cook has been phenomenal for them down the stretch. And then the Patriots, I do like how this team plays. I do like how this team fights. It's just they're not talented enough. They keep themselves in ball games. Drake Mayer's getting better and better as time goes on, but they're just not a talented football team, and it shows. They fight hard. They keep themselves in ball games, but I think they could have put out the upset. They had a little bit more talent. And then the Bills, they played better defensively, and they ran the football. Next, we're going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars and Las Vegas Raiders in the Toilet Bowl. Both teams at D. Raiders did get the win, but and on top of that, I love what Brock Bowers has been doing despite the lack of quarterback play. Raiders defense did play a lot better than what they had been. And the Jaguars, I'm just waiting for Doug Peterson to get the door. At this point, this team was thought to be better. They had some injuries, whether it's Lawrence, whether it's Christian Kirk. They had injuries. Brian Thomas Jr. has been a bright spot for him, but this team is just not very good. And the Raiders, not very good either. Next, we're going to have the Dolphins versus the 49ers. I am dropping the 49ers to a C, and a lot of that is injuries. Wide receiver injuries, defensive injuries. It's catching up to this football team. They've been eliminated from playoffs. And Brock Purdy, I'll be honest, he hasn't been playing the best football. So that's why I'm going to drop them. And then on top of that, the Miami Dolphins, I had them at B. I'm keeping them there. But they have some issues as well. They have some injuries. Defensively, I'm not the biggest fan of what the Dolphins have been doing, despite playing solid against the Niners. But offensively, we know when Tua is efficient, this offense can explode. And when they're running the football like they did, they can create some problems. Next is the Bucs and the Cowboys. I'm keeping the Bucs at B, and I'm keeping the Cowboys at B. Cowboys have been playing a lot better down the stretch. They have been running the football. Rico Dowdle has been a lot better these late stretch of games. Cooper Rush, solid play. Defensively, they've been getting after it. Michael Parsons. And then the Buccaneers' sake, they just didn't run the football very well. The one flaw of this Cowboys defense is running the football, and the Buccaneers were, for some reason, were unable to be physically imposing, and I think that's what cost them in this ball game. Baker Mayfield played solid, but at the end of the day, when you don't have a running game, so much of it is one-dimensional. And then the turnovers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers killed themselves with turnovers. And it was a very different ball game they did. Next is the Packers. I'm having them at S. Saints, I am dropping them to a D. To get shut out, like I've told you guys before about the Saints, I've always said it's time for a rebuild. I've always said they've just been kicking the can along and just waiting and waiting. It's time for a rebuild with the Saints. It really is. And then we're talking about the Packers. They've been creating turnovers, getting after the quarterback. Josh Jacobs has been phenomenal for them down the stretch of this season. Jordan Love has been playing better and better. I hate to even praise the Packers like this, but I got to keep it real. They are a scary team to face down the stretch. Scary team to face down the stretch. But these are my power rankings for week 17. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And make sure you guys have a safe and happy holidays. ABW Sports signing out. I will check you guys in the next one. Peace.